Welcome back friends. Welcome back in another video tutorial for microbiology with Shagnik. Welcome in a very short video where we will going to talk about propionic acid fermentation. As its name suggests, it will going to produce propionic acid mainly with the help of this fermentation process. Along with that, it will also produce acetic acid and CO2. And how they will produce this? They will produce this by fermenting lactate. So it is a very unusual type of fermentation pathway which is usually followed by propionic acid bacterium, which include corynebacterium, then propionibacterium and bifidobacterium. So here 3 mole of lactate will be utilized and it will give us 2 mole of propionate, 1 mole of acetate and 1 mole of CO2, and also in this pathway 1 mole of ATP is squeezed out. So that is the idea of propionic acid fermentation. So we have done a various lot of type of fermentation, right? We have started our journey with lactic acid fermentation, where we have produced lactate from pyruvate, right? Then we have talked about alcoholic fermentation, where we have produced ethanol with two-step pathway again from pyruvate. Then we have talked about mixed acid fermentation, where, as its name suggests, mixed acid, it will going to produce a lot of acid. For example, ethanol, for example, acetic acid, then succinate, formic acid, and also the lactic acid, right? So there we have talked about that some mixed acid fermenter also have the ability to produce gases, right? But the condition is they should have formate dehydrogenase. This formate dehydrogenase have the ability to break formate to CO2 and H2. That is why they have the ability to produce the gas, right? So fecal enterics, for example, E. coli, Shigella, Salmonella are mixed acid fermenters. Now, as a subheading of this that particular video, we have talked about also butanediol fermentation, right? Where we are producing all the end product of mixed acid fermentation. Along with that, we are producing a extra 2,3-butanediol, right? Which is due to the condensation of 2-pyruvate, right? Now, this type of fermentation is done by actually our non-fecal enterics, right? So, for example, Enterobacter, right? So, this is the mixed acid fermentation video. Now, then we have talked about butyric acid fermentation and butanol acetone fermentation. So, in butyric acid fermentation and butanol acetone fermentation, we have learned that both type of fermentation is run by Clostridia, right? And they are producing butyric acid as well as acetic acid, CO2 and H2O, right? And along with that, in that particular pathway, they are also producing isopropanol and ethanol, right? And in butanol acetone fermentation, mainly Clostridium acetobutylicum runs the butanol acetone fermentation. They are producing butanol and acetone. And we have also discussed in that particular video why we are calling Clostridia as the master of fermentation, right? And now in today's video, we have talked about propionic acid fermentation, which is the unusual type of fermentation run by propionic acid bacterium, Propionibacter, corynebacterium, bifidobacterium. So this type of fermentation is very important, and here we are getting acetic acid, CO2 as well as our propionic acid, right, by fermenting lactate. So from 3 mole of lactate we are getting 2 mole of propionic acid, 1 mole of acetic acid and 1 mole of CO2, right? So that was various type of fermentations we have discussed with the help of a couple of videos. So I hope these videos will be helpful for you. Thank you.